Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room podcast. This is episode 90, another playoff style episode. We talk about the NBA playoffs. We got a bunch of topics to talk about right now, along with some trivia as always. But before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and like the video and share the video. We're at 1,030 odd subscribers, so make sure you guys show love and follow us on our social media accounts at the top of the screen. We really greatly appreciate that. But it's been an interesting weekend, honestly. One of the most iconic nights in rap history last night. I think a few years from now, we get older, we be like, where were you when you heard Kendrick and Drake go toe to toe, and two of the greatest diss tracks we've ever heard in rap history? And that's not hyperbolic. It was that was historic. As a Drake fan, hurt me to see Kendrick body Drake like that, because he did. He's definitely winning right now. But that's why I wanted to start the episode off with your feelings about where the current Drake and Kendrick beef is at right now. Obviously, we talked about it last episode, but it's the only hot topic right now. That's the only thing on our Twitter timelines, bro. We're gonna talk about the Clippers choking, or not choking, but shit in the bed against the Mavericks. Nobody cares, because while that was happening, Kendrick Lamar and Drake was lighting the timeline on fire, so they escaped a lot of scrutiny. I really haven't heard anyone talk about it at all. I haven't heard about anyone talk about that at all. So we're gonna talk about it, but I want to hear our thoughts on where that is right now. My question of the day, or question of the episode.
I gotta wait for shit to get finalized. Some of this shit, it's a lot of rumors, a lot of alleged stuff right now. Obviously the whole thing with Drake's supposed daughter. Is he the one leaking that information? No one knows for sure now. So I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for the next diss track now. So I don't know.
He don't got a daughter, man. That was cap, man. You gotta be serious. He don't have a daughter.
I don't know.
Bro, this is way bigger than rap beef, bro. This is way bigger than I'm better than you, you better than me, regular rap beef. Like, this is personal. And Kendrick did his thing. You feel me? I personally believe he probably was gonna drop it anyway. But obviously, based on the way it happened, everybody's gonna say, nah, he waited for Drake to drop on purpose and blah blah blah. Both the joints was fire. Like, if he didn't drop, Drake would have been in the lead by a good margin. But you feel me? I'm scared. I might not have to listen to Drake no more. I don't want that to be a thing. But he gonna come back with something. It's not gonna be like 17 days. He probably gonna be right back on Monday with something. But we gonna have to see.
The allegations are damning. The allegations are some crazy allegations going on right now. But we're not a music podcast for the most part. Let's get into the basketball. So, as I alluded to earlier, the Mavericks ended the Clipper season in 6 games without Kawhi Leonard last night. And like I said, I was watching the game. While I was watching the game, all that stuff hopped off with Kendrick and Drake. So I obviously had to prioritize. So I watched it. I watched the game. For the most part, it was much of what we seen in Game 5. PG could not create any type of saturation. James Harden 3-point shot fell off a cliff, and so the Mavericks are guarding him differently. He got some easy looks, but just couldn't make it. And it's been a story of Paul George and James Harden's career, even Russ Westbrook, that they just haven't been good playoff performers. And it's continued to stay on like this. And this is another iteration of them just falling short. So my question is, with Paul George being able to be a free agent this offseason if he opts out of his contract, with James Harden being a free agent, needing to be re-signed, what is next for the Clippers this season? I mean, next in the offseason, basically, and where should they go? What direction should they go in the offseason?
We know for a fact Kawhi's going to be in the building. He signed that contract. They couldn't go to a new building without stars anyway. You need somebody to bring fans to the building. They're talking with James Harden right now. A report came out that they both want a deal done. They're talking to Paul George. They still haven't made progress. It looks like it's a 50% chance that Paul George is not going to be there. If that's the case, they're going to have to reevaluate how they're going to build this team. The Athletic came out with a report that Russell Westbrook could go somewhere else and get, bigger money. I don't know where that is. Maybe Miami. I don't know. I personally would like to see Paul George in the East. there's teams that get slide into right now that like would really make them like, contenders. Like I believe if he went to New York, they'd be a good team. I personally believe if he goes to Philly, they'd be a lot better team also. Orlando's a destination, but I don't think Orlando needs another wing. I think they need a playmaking guard that can shoot. The Clippers, I don't know. They've been running. They can't just keep doing this thing. You know what I'm saying? It's been 5 years now, 4 years, 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. It just hasn't worked for whatever reason. Obviously, you can point to injuries and whatnot, but it's a mix of injuries plus inconsistent play, and that's damning for any type of franchise. I understand you got to put butts in the seats, but eventually you just got to pivot, take your little lumps and then restart. But I don't think like Steve Ballmer's that type of dude. He's trying to like win right now, for better or for worse, however he does it. He believes in his process. I just think like it's just time to like retool this whole thing.
The biggest thing for me last night was the Clippers looked dead since like the first quarter almost. They made a little run the second quarter, but Dallas was out hustling. The crowd was killing them. They were shooting. Like there just looked like there was no life in Dallas at all for the Clippers. When Kyrie turned up in the second half defensively, I did not think Kyrie was going to be this defensive stopper, but he got steals. Luka was even claiming a pardon a couple of times. Like Dallas just looked like they wanted it so much more than LA did. And it was pretty embarrassing, I think, just from a normal watcher. No one on LA really looked like they wanted to be there at all, and their season kind of looked over, except Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann had a couple plays. Terrence Mann actually seemed like he wanted to be there. Sorry, hold on one sec. My computer just sorry, my computer just tweaked. My phone tweaked. I don't know what happened. But as a whole, I think that's just what's happening in the league right now. Is super teams are dying. I think you can say what you want about this team. This team was built as a super team. You have Harden, you have Kawhi, you have Russ, and you have PG. They're not all stars in their own rights right now, but name-wise, it is built as a super team. The three-headed monster they have is built as a super team. I agree with what you said, Q, 100%. New stadium, you have to put butts in seats. And as long as you have Kawhi, you have to kind of move with that. You're going to be in the playoff hunt in a top whatever seed as long as you have Kawhi. You're hoping he's obviously going to be healthy. If you have James Harden, that's great too. I don't know. I think you got to try and somehow sign and trade PG. You need to get assets back on your team because I think there's going to be a very steep fall off for this Clippers team. You have Terrence Mann, who's young, and that's about it. Like, they don't have any more pieces to go forward with. We have a lot of their picks.
He's not really young, though. He's not really
but
young.
compared to the rest of the team, he's young. PJ Tucker, Zubac, Harden, Russ, like, you know what I mean? Like, sure, he's not young. What is he, 26, 25?
That's like 27.
28.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he was that old. But still, like, you got Amir Coffey. They had Brandon Boston. Like, they're not a young team at all. So, like Milwaukee, and I think Milwaukee has a couple more young pieces, but not even anything crazy. Like, there's going to be a steep fall off where, like, everyone just declines or leaves and they have nothing. But with this stadium, you still have to contend and put butts in seats. So whatever you can do with the hard cap, whatever you can kind of dance around money-wise, if you can sign PG, cool. I just don't think running it back is the best option. But if that's going to sell tickets, I guess more power to you. PG-wise, you threw out Philly, you threw out New York. And again, I'm not going to sit here and say I know the money situation. I still think a return to Indiana could still be in the cards. Biggest issue for that, I think they need to sign another star because, again, they're pieces away. We know that. The biggest issue for me there is the inconsistency would be massive. Like, I love PG, but we know he's not a consistent playoff performer, right? Tyrese Halliburton has shown he's not a consistent playoff performer or a consistent performer in general. And I don't think you're relying on Pascal Siakam to be your number one. So I think there's holes in that. But I think there are a lot of teams who want PG or a guy like PG's caliber that can fit him within their books. And I think that his price will – I don't care about age. I think he'll still have a high price out in the market compared to other contenders who want him. I don't know if the Clippers should fold and give him what other desperate teams are offering to give him. So I think as a whole, Steve Ballmer is going to be aggressive. We know that. He's going to try and trade and make moves and try and contend next year. But at the end of the day, the entire fate of the team relies on the health of Kawhi Leonard, and it just has not been – he's not been healthy the past couple of years. So as long as that's going on, it's going to be this team where when Kawhi's playing, we're like, wow, this team really has a chance. This team could really make some noise. and then there's an injury, and then it falls off, and they get eliminated in the first, second round, and there's nothing else. So I don't know. I think the Clippers always have so much promise. I think this year you got to cut some of your losses and just try and move on.
Well, they don't have a choice whether to bring back Paul George or James Harden. You traded for James Harden. You can't let him walk after 1 year. You just re-sign Paul. You just re-sign Kawhi Leonard to a contract extension. So there is no choice. They can't rebuild. They're going to a new stadium. Like, even though it kind of makes sense.
I'm not saying rebuild.
Even if it kind of makes sense to where it's like this team isn't going anywhere, or they have a ceiling, or they're not going to win a championship, and so you're paying for a team that's not going to win a championship. They have no other choice though, because they're going into a new arena. They already re-signed Kawhi. They have to keep PG. They have to keep Harden, because if not, none of the moves they made in the past make any sense. And then you don't have any young assets or young players that have promise, that show promise, that are going to allow you to move off of your star. Like, for instance, the Pelicans, they can move off Brandon Ingram because they have Trey Murphy sitting right there who you think has a lot of promise, or you think can develop into something. They don't have a player like that on their team, so they can't let PG walk. They can't let PG walk. And anything you get back in the trade for PG is not going to be good enough. It's not. He's an injury-prone aging star that doesn't show up in the playoffs. You're not going to get a lot from him. So they literally have no choice but to continue to push themselves further and further into the luxury tax. They have no choice but to continue to hold on this idle dream that they can compete with this core, which they can't, because you have two players on your team that are playoff droppers, and James Harden and Paul George, and one of your team who is probably not going to be on the team, Russell Westbrook, who also is not great in the playoffs. So they have no other choice, and they're in a sticky situation where it's a lose-lose situation. If you continue to stay in this space and continue to try to compete with this team, you're not going to win, and you're going to just be one of the most expensive teams in the league for no reason. And if you try to retool, rebuild, it's just not going to go in your favor. So I would like to see what they're going to be able to do by letting Paul George walk, because him going to another team is literally not an option. It's not. And James Harden leaving either is not an option either. They can't do that. Go ahead, Max.
My issue with this is, like, you're getting into the whole idea of pride. Like, if you play poker, this is like a situation where, yeah, it is. It completely is. This is like poker, where you're getting caught in a bluff. You're bluffing right now. You put in a lot of money. You're getting caught in a bluff. Everyone knows you're bluffing. And instead of folding and cutting your losses, you're just putting more into the pot. You're putting more and more and more into the pot until eventually your entire future is just done and you're out of money and you're done.
That's not bluffing, though. You know why it's not bluffing? Because, one, it's not a bluff that they have to move into a new facility next year. That's not a bluff. That's an actual thing that's happening.
Yeah, but the bluff is what he's saying. They don't have to bring back Paul George. Like, they don't have to do that. Like, that's not a.
What was the point of re-signing Kawhi Leonard at that point?
Because you need to put butts in seats. You just said it. You just answered that.
That's their best player.
But
yes, you re-sign him.
If you re-sign Kawhi Leonard and then let Paul George walk and keep James Harden on the team, what are you really going to be?
Butts in seats. I'm sorry. Yeah, I love PG. I don't think the city of LA is like freaking out that Paul George is going to play for the Clippers. Like, they've had that for 4 years. Like, I don't think that's going to be.
If he leaves his raps.
Huh?
They trade away their whole future for him. By the way, this is the person that they traded away their whole future. Yeah, so they're not going to just let him go.
What you're supposed to do is understand it, cut your losses, and move on. That's what a smart organization would do. That's what a smart GM would do.
Pride. It's just pride right now of saying
they just don't have. They don't have. They literally can't do that though. Like, even if it's smart, they can't, and that wouldn't be a smart decision either though. I don't think so. Because I think whether that makes sense, if they let Paul George walk, right? If they re-sign James Harden, who was inconsistent, unreliable, getting up there in age, they have to actually re-sign Harden, because they traded for him and they have his bird rights, so they have to re-sign Harden. Sure. I don't think it makes sense to bring back one of them and not bring back both of them. If you're gonna do that, you might as well just continue to try to win a championship. It's a lose-lose situation. Letting Paul George walk is not good asset management at all, because you traded your whole entire future for him, and then you let him walk for nothing. That's not good asset management. It's not. So
I think it's just
neither one of these are
on the hill.
Do you think they can win a championship?
That's not pride.
Do you think they can win a championship with it? So you want them to just spend money to spend money?
Like, it
You
makes
telling
no
me
sense.
I think
that's the only option they have is to spend money just to spend
That's
money.
why it's pride.
I
That's
think
why
both
it's
of them,
pride.
both of them, both of
That
them
don't
are.
make no sense, bro. That don't
It's
make
a
no sense.
lose
The
lose.
best option is to cut your losses.
It's a lose situation though.
That's what I'm
Because
saying. So why do you lose? So why
if
do you? That's why I'm saying it's pride, because they just want to make sure the trade doesn't look bad. They want to look like they're good owners or good GMs and hope it works out. That's what you're saying. That's pride. They have pride in their moves.
It's not about not making the trade look bad. It's called asset management. Trading 5 first-round picks for a player, right? And then letting them walk in free agency. That's like terrible asset management. That's why it's not. That's why it's not.
Why is paying
5 first-round picks? Seeing that in
you have
years
to line up with Kawhi.
And seeing that it doesn't work, and then continuing to do it to continue down that same path that doesn't work after trading 5 first-round picks and doing the same thing over and over again, literally is pride. That's like damn near the definition of that. To keep doing it, it's literally pride. Like that's what it boils down to. To keep doing it, it's not smart.
It's a lose situation because
this is a business at the end of the day. That's not a great business. That's not a business decision.
But that's what I'm saying. Why are you losing? Why are you losing and giving him $200 million?
You're not giving him $200 million. What are you talking about? Anyways, losing. That's not a thing. He's not getting $200 million. It's not. They're gonna lie his contract.
What's he getting? 150?
No, they're not. You like millions. You like 100, like not even 100 millions, but you're about $50 million off, if anything. Well, even more than $50 million off.
Anyways, there's going to be a market for PG. Daryl Morey will spend money. Daryl Morey will throw money at him.
There's going to be a market for PG. They can give him the most money. The Clippers can literally give him the most money. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So they have to keep raising that.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be. It's not going to be $200 million. It's not going to be $200 million. They're going to align. It's going to be the same amount as Kawhi. They're going to align with Kawhi, so probably 2 or 3 more seasons. But if you can't tell me that letting him walk for anything is not also bad asset management. It's not.
It's not great. It is. I'm saying, but now you cut your losses.
Your losses in the business world. It's called cutting your losses.
Yeah, it's like
if you. It's not like that money just opens up, right? It's not like that money just opens up where they're going to get all the money that PG.
Yeah, I get you. I'm looking at their books. They're going to let PJ Tucker walk. They're letting PJ Tucker walk. You can dance around. You could trade Norman Powell, who you owe $20 million to. You have Terrence Mann and Zubac in for 2 years for $10 million. You have a lot of guys under 1-year contracts.
Hey, what?
The only people under contract next year is Kawhi, Norman Powell, Zubac, Terrence Mann, and then you have a couple other guys. Maybe it's player options. It doesn't say, but Russ, Coffey, Kobe Brown. Like you have some cap space.
Russ is not under contract. Russ is not under contract.
What is this? Basketball Reference has him under. Maybe it's a player option.
Russ is a free agent.
You should be looking at Sport Track. Basketball Reference is not going to tell you about contracts.
Regardless, I don't think it is literally it makes even less sense in my opinion to keep this fever dream going that we're going to contend and we're going to do this and we're going to be a great team. Just literally
I don't think they really have a choice.
But you do. You have to.
Bro.
It's
cute. Like what I'm saying makes sense, right?
You and I share an opinion that a lot of other people share, bro. Nobody on the consensus believes that they bringing back Paul George or should bring back Paul George. I don't even think they realize it. I think they are. They tried the price. They've been trying for a while. The price ain't what Paul George wants, so they're not going to give him the price he wants.
I think Palmer might have pride.
He would have signed it
last year. I don't think he's going to be a different team. I think they've been trying to work. They already showed effort to try to bring him back. I think he's going to be on the Clippers.
I think he could. I just don't think it makes sense. I think he will. I just don't think it makes sense. I think it's stupid.
I'm not saying. See, I think so. We misunderstand it, right? I don't think that it's a smart decision to continue to. I don't know if I was listening, but I said that in my monologue. Like they're not going to be competing for a championship, and I don't think that it makes sense to continue to, keep pushing this on. My thing is that is what they're going to do. Steve Ballmer is getting up there in age. He wants to win.
But how
you know
because
that?
I'm telling you, he's Steve Ballmer's getting up there in age, and listen, he's getting up there in age. Has he not done everything to show that he wants to win now? Yes or no?
All right, we're gonna talk about Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer is probably the best business owner of all the owners in the NBA.
Come on, money wise.
Yeah, you get that way and get that amount of money being smart. Steve Ballmer's a smart dude.
He hasn't been smart. He hasn't been smart this whole time though.
That's not true.
How much money
He
has
hasn't
he
been
made?
smart.
That's because the players
He cares
didn't show
about
up. He
He
wasn't
cares
smart.
about winning
He traded
championships.
for
He cares
injury.
about winning
He traded for.
Steve Ballmer has made so much money off the Clippers. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. And he makes so much money off the Clippers.
And he wants to continue to do that, which
That's-
means So my
Again,
point
like,
is,
my
my
thing is,
point
you're
is,
not like you're understanding like you don't get why it's a smart reason to not sign PG.
I already said that, bro. You're not.
If you think
I'm
it's
not
smart,
saying that.
what I'm saying is, if you think it's smart, 9 times out of 10, he thinks it's smart also. I don't think I'm pretty sure. And if he didn't think it's smart, I'm pretty sure there's a smarter person in the building that's telling him the same thing that everybody damn near around the basketball world thinks, that you should not bring that PG because it's a waste of time. Why would I keep that? That's insanity. I don't think these people are insane, bro.
They are going to do. They're not going to do like, okay, the obvious smart thing, like, yeah, this core is not working, and we're going to pivot, because I don't think they can. Like, they have to, one, put Bus in the seat. He wants to win the ring now. Again, he's up there. He's getting up there in age. He has shown over his entire tenure as the Clippers owner that he does not care about going into the luxury tax. That he will pay to win a championship. And so letting PG walk and re-signing Harden would be the exact opposite of that, because that does not give you the best chance to win a championship. So I don't think he's going to do something that's not the best team to win a championship. I'm not saying it's not smart to retool, rebuild. I already said that. I'm saying that's not what they're going to do, because I don't feel like letting PG walk and re-signing Harden is going to fulfill the best interest of what Steve Ballmer has in his mind, which is to win a championship for the Clippers. And if you do that, they're not going to win one. And we have seen, based on all of his actions over all these years, that he wants to win a championship, and he'll pay whatever it is to win a championship. So following that trend, he's going to continue to do that, which is re-signing Kawhi and James Harden, because he has shown he doesn't care about paying into the luxury tax.
Do you think he believes that team can win a championship?
I think, this has been happening since 2020, right? Over and over again, right? So do I believe that he has some hope that one year that Kawhi will stay healthy and lead them to a championship? I think he does believe that to some point, yes.
So you're telling me you think he's delusional?
I mean, a lot of billionaires are delusional. Look at Jerry Jones. I mean, like, what are we doing? Like,
I don't think the richest NBA owner is delusional. Personally,
do you think Jerry Jones is delusional?
Yes. He's also old though.
He's old too. Steve Ballmer's old. Like, I mean, sometimes Jerry Jones is delusional.
Jerry Jones, that's a bad thing, because Jerry Jones ain't like get rich. You feel me? That he got, like, that was a family operation. That wasn't.
He's the richest owner though. He's the richest owner though.
But we know Steve Ballmer got that off. He got that off his own merit. Like, he did all that basically himself. Jerry Jones basically inherited money like that. He wasn't rich. Like, he didn't do it. Like, you feel me? That's family money. So that's a different comparison.
I don't get why you're saying it's not pride then. That's literally what it is he has pride that he wants to win. Like, that's why I don't understand. Like, I agree. I think that he has pride and he has too much of it to where he's going to be like, all right, we're going to roll this out. I don't want to look bad. I'm going to try and re-sign this and hope it works. Like that. I think that's literally pride in his team. Like, he doesn't want to look like he failed.
I just think that's wrong. I just think that's the wrong word. I don't think he's trying to like not look like he failed. I think that letting Paul George walk after trading 5 first-round picks from him and just let him hit free agency without recouping anything is bad asset management. And what are you getting into, like, realistically though? What are you getting into?
To be honest,
like, what team? Give me one example, please.
I mean, like,
the Sixers don't have anything on their roster outside of like Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid.
Why would the Sixers try to trade for him when they could just offer him the bread?
Exactly. I'm saying, give me an example. Give me an example.
My issue is, like, literally, you can get a first round pick
like
for
one specific thing that I could just pull out.
I just want
my ass and give
you can get a first round pick. If you just get a first round pick and something, it's better than letting him walk, is it not? So whatever team can offer a first round pick, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that's all I'm saying. It's like, get something if you want. They need picks. They need young players.
I think
you can take a chance on some young guy if you're just gonna let him walk anyways.
But again, why would any other team do that though? Like, why would any other team that could just sign him? Like, a lot of teams could just sign him, bro. Why would they just do that? You know what I'm saying? They don't need to do that.
Teams? What if the competition for other teams? Some team says, I want to give you. Some team says, I want to give you the money the Clippers are going to give you. I'll give you that. If the Clippers sign you to a contract, I want to give you that money. I'll give you 2 first-round picks. So
they can just do that in free agency, though. They can just do it in free agency.
Did you not just say that the Clippers can offer them the most amount of money?
Yes.
Cool. So then they sign that contract, they offer them the money, and you trade him.
I don't even know that's like how is that how sign and trade work?
Sign and trade. You can give up anything.
That's literally what you know what I mean. Like they can offer the money, so you trade him.
That's what teams do. That's what teams do when they know they're not keeping the star, but they want to get something back. That's up to the player if they want to do that for you. Like Kevin Durant was in a sign and trade to the Nets. LeBron James got into a sign and trade to Miami. Like he didn't sign with Miami. Like for me, it was a sign and trade.
Like
that's usually how that shit, how it goes. Not usually, but like
that's if Paul George wants to do that. Let me see how much offer.
Doing something like trading for James Harden when he has 1 year left on his deal. That's like an all-in move. Wouldn't you say?
What do you mean?
Trading for James Harden on a 1 year deal. Wouldn't
yeah.
That'd be an all-in move, right? People usually go all in for a one last hurrah. Maybe this was that. You know what I'm saying? It clearly didn't work. We're gonna keep Harden. You can keep Harden because he's not gonna cost as much as Paul George. Let Paul George go. Whatever you Kawhi and James Harden
enough butts and seats.
And continue being ass.
In terms of contending, you're still if people believe Kawhi Leonard is still a top 15-ish player when healthy, with him and James Harden, you still should be able to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And then whoever you get after that, if you got money, you could sign a DeMar if you wanted a DeMar. There's players out there you can sign.
I think that would be continuing the same thing as.
But it's the same thing because you're not winning anyways. You're not winning anyways.
It'd be less money than a bunch of bread.
It makes no sense. Like I don't get what you're trying to get at. That like you think it makes sense. The only thing it makes sense for is for his pride. That's it.
I think you're misunderstanding. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm saying this is what they're gonna do. That's where we have a disconnect. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm saying this is what they're gonna do. That's what I'm not arguing that it makes sense. I've said that like 4 times.
I'm fighting for what I think they should do. I'm fighting for what
we're arguing that that's what they're not like. We believe that's what they're not going to do. I'm not going to definitively say they're going to do.
I
think there's a chance they could sign Paul George. I think it's a good chance. I just don't think it's the right move at all. I think it's a terrible move.
And I have not argued with that. I'm saying
I don't understand why
they're going to
do. Hold on.
See, that's where the disconnect is. I'm not arguing that. Sorry,
like,
I think I've been.
Why would you not? Why would you not try to argue for what you think they should do?
Because all the time, why are we arguing that when we think this team should do that, but are realistically going to do that? No.
I realistically believe that they're not going to sign Paul George back.
Okay, so that's a different argument. I'm talking about what me and Max are talking about. I don't think they're going to do that. I think Steve Ballmer is going to continue on his tendencies that he's been doing over this whole time.
That's where I'm confused. And again, pride might not be the right word, but like, then what would you call it for re-signing everybody? Because you said it yourself, they're not going to be good. They're not going to win. There's nothing. Like there's no.
They're going to be good. They're going to be good in the regular season. But if Kawhi Leonard continues to,
they're not going to make it to this ECF for whatever. The West Conference Finals, Western Semis. Who cares? First time I don't
think it's about pride. I don't think he's trying to make a trade look good or anything like that, or try to look like a good owner. I think I think he might genuinely believe that this team can win the championship, and all his actions so far have shown that he thinks this team can win the championship. The way he's offered Paul George to re-sign him, where he's re-signed Kawhi Leonard, trading for James Harden, knowing they're going to have to re-sign him, is all actions to show that he believes the team can win a championship.
Why does he keep adding more and more pieces then if he thinks he can win it? If he thought PG and Kawhi could win it, why do you trade for Harden?
Because
they think they can win even more?
No, you trade for Harden because you didn't have to give up much for him. That's why you trade for Harden. That's like a no-brainer, bro.
So then, so if you barely gave up anything, why do you not let him walk?
Because what? No, that's terrible asset management. You can't.
Again, I don't think Harden should walk.
For him because they trade for him because they have his bird rights right now. So if you trade Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, first round picks, whatever they gave up, and then a year later you get Harden for 1 year, that is terrible asset management. That's not good asset management. You can't just let him walk after that. Just because you didn't give up like 4 first round picks, don't mean you trade assets for him. Just let him walk.
Keeping him doesn't equal to the amount of just having assets. Just because you have Paul George doesn't mean you got your assets back.
We talking about James Harden.
It's both. You can switch it both ways. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, same way. Regardless, the asset is gone. Like the asset is done.
The money could be the asset.
So you think James Harden? You think they should let James Harden walk?
No. I think they should let Paul George walk. But you keep Harden, you keep Kawhi.
We're talking about James Harden right now.
Yep.
I understand.
I literally just said no. You keep James Harden, you let Paul George walk. That's what I said. You telling me that we talking about James Harden meant nothing if I just said that you let Paul George walk and you sign James Harden. That's exactly what
I'm talking about the singular case of James Harden as far as asset management, where if you already lost the assets, that don't mean you let him walk, bro. That's not, because then that would make no sense. Because then that would make no sense. Like, you don't just keep
money, not
that will set you back even more. That will set you back even more.
Assets don't matter once you have James Harden. Don't whatever.
And now that you don't have James
were,
Harden, that make the assets that matters now.
The asset means nothing. James Harden doesn't mean anything towards like having those assets or not. Like, just because you have James Harden doesn't mean anything. You're not keeping assets around. Like, you think James Harden's worth a lot?
And you think Pascal Siakam? You think Pascal Siakam just signed to the Pacers, right? Under the belief that he would resign, the same way James Harden was traded for under the belief that he would resign. If they let Pascal Siakam walk, is that not terrible asset management?
Different.
That's a different scenario.
Completely different.
That's a different scenario.
Indiana and the Clippers are both going in completely different directions. Like, what are we talking? I'm sorry. Like, Indiana needs to keep building their team up. The Clippers need to start cutting assets off because they're not going to win. You're not going to. Are you?
If it was KD,
Huh? What do you mean?
If it was KD,
KD might get traded this offseason.
Again, if we
is that bad asset management?
We could just look at it from a regular point of view, right? If you trade for someone when they have 1 year left on their deal, right, and they leave in the offseason and you let them walk, that is terrible asset
management. It's situational, though.
That's all situational. Everything is not the same, bro.
It's not going to work.
That's terrible for the Clippers. That's terrible for the Clippers. But for the Clippers, that will also be terrible. You don't trade assets for someone and then let them walk the next season. That's dumb. Because then what did you trade them for them for?
What you thought it was going to work? They trade James Harden for? What did they trade for James Harden for?
Because first of all, it didn't cost a lot, and second of all, they wanted to increase their odds to win a championship.
They did their first option, their first reasoning for trading for James Harden wasn't because, man, I'm gonna get him because he don't cost a lot. That wasn't the first reason. The first reason was because they thought they were gonna win a championship. We all believe. Well, I'm not gonna say we all, but I don't think we think the Clippers can win a championship. So the main reason you got James Harden literally doesn't exist. So at that point, what is the asset worth? Keep it around. If you don't,
it matters. It matters if Steve Ballmer.
He's older.
It matters if Steve Ballmer thinks they can win a championship. It matters what Steve Ballmer thinks they can win a championship. Because if you believe that Steve Ballmer still thinks that, then that's when you would say, "Oh, we have to re-sign James Harden because we just traded for him." And if that reason is still there for Steve Ballmer, then that reason is still there for Steve Ballmer, and he still think this core can win a championship, which all of his moves over this 5-year period is trying to get Kawhi and PG and the new arena and try to win a championship for the Clippers. I just think he's going to continue to do actions to further increase that. And actions to further increase that is not letting James Harden walk, not letting Paul George walk. And I think he's going to continue to go into the luxury tax to keep the team around. I don't think that's a crazy possibility at all. I think that's what's going to happen.
I guess I'm getting confused because I think you think that this is like a smart choice. And that's what, like, I don't know.
I have not said that one time.
I'm saying you're fighting for it. Like, this is like your heart belief.
Nobody said that's not what it was. What Max said was that doing that literally is a prideful move. When you tried to argue that it's not prideful, when it actually is like that, that's literally what that was. That's literally what that would be. That's what Max said.
It's belief. He believes that. He believes that they won a championship.
Yeah, that's pride, bro.
We can look at. I mean, you're gonna get like super technical into pride.
It's pride and it's insanity at the same time. That's exactly what it is.
A feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. The achievements of those whom one is closely associated with.
I just think it's a belief. I think he believes in a team. I think he does. I mean, unless we see a
when is the one time the Clippers have not been a playoff team? When's the one time the Clippers have not been a playoff team fighting for a playoff spot?
When Kawhi,
they always for the playoff spot. That would
never fighting for a playoff spot. Yes.
Steve Ballmer always has the pride to put together a winning team. Since he's bought the team, they've been a winning
Yeah, I
team.
don't. Yeah,
They
it's
got
pride, bro.
hurt.
Yeah,
Huh?
what that mean?
I'm saying, but Steve Ballmer doesn't want to tank. He wants his team to look good. He wants his team to compete with the Lakers. He has pride in his team. Like I'm saying, like that's pride. Like that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying he doesn't have pride in his team. I'm saying I don't think that the moves. I don't think re-signing PG, re-signing James Harden is pride. I just think he has a belief in the team, and he may think that's the best way to use his assets, or that's the best direction for the team right now.
I don't know. I guess
unless,
what you were saying with like all these win now moves. Why are you putting together a team to win? Like when you have other GMs, right? Boston, for example, the Lakers too. Both of them, they're up here. They take dips, right? They get better. You draft Jason Tatum. You get Jaylen Brown. You flip assets. You do your thing, right? You trade away your stars. You suck for a couple of years. You can come back out on top. The Clippers don't do that.
They can't do that. They
never have.
They can't do that.
But they never have. That's what I'm saying. Steve Ballmer always tries to put these teams together. He doesn't want to lose.
Exactly. My point. So I don't know. He's going to continue to follow all the stuff he's been doing. Is what I think.
How is that not meaning?
He's been going into the luxury tax for his entire career as a GM.
That's what I'm saying. I
don't think that's pride though.
Okay.
I don't know if you're arguing about that. Like being a prideful owner doesn't mean the moves he's doing right now is for pride.
Okay.
I don't even know. I would never say it was a smart move. I don't know. I was never arguing that. I'm saying I think it's what he's going to do. It was more a prediction than a take. But we can move on to more predictions. OKC versus Dallas. The Clippers obviously lost, and so Dallas moves on, and OKC swept the Pelicans. What's your predictions for these series? Like, who's going to win in how many games?
I'll come out first. Let me make sure I got my stuff up. I have OKC in 7. OKC in 7. They this season series they won 3-1. Luka has dominated Lou Dort though in his 7 games against him. I think he's averaging a little over 32 points a game. So take that with what you want. And again, it's playoff Luka, so everything's a little different. I think the age and experience will hurt us. Pace of play wise, defensively, OKC and Dallas are both in the top 2, I think, of points per possession. Both are good out in fast defenses. As far as transition offense and defense, though, it both favors the Thunder. And if the Thunder can start and kind of establish their game as a fast speed team, I think that they take this series. I think Luka will try and slow the game down, obviously. But if the Thunder can get out in transition, Dallas is not a great offensive rebounding team. I know they showed that in the last game. They showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of effort against the old Clippers team. But this season, this playoffs, they have not been a great. They've gotten chances, but they have not been a good offensive rebounding team, which is what kills the Thunder. So overall, I think that it is tough because I think Dallas is a really, really good team. I think that if Dallas wins, I'm not going to be the most surprised. I definitely am being a little biased by picking the Thunder. I think that we could put stuff together for sure. We are still like the best 3-point shooting team in the league, and I think that they played better defense this series, but with Dallas's defense being middle of the pack for majority of the season, I think that we can hopefully expose that. And defensively, I think we have the wings to go out and guard or at least manage Kyrie and Luka. So I'll take OKC in 7, but I think it'll be a great series.
Listen, it's going to be a great series. It should go at least 6. I love OKC. I love SGA. I love what they got going on. Dallas cannot afford to not make the Western Conference Finals. Like, they have no choice but to not make it. Going into this series, they're going to have, 2 of the 3 best players in the series. One, it's a huge gap between, one and the other. Kyrie's playing sensational. PJ Washington's playing well. The size thing, check cool. You feel me? But that's not like he shouldn't be like overmatched by Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. I think it's pretty easy. Actually, Kleber just went out. He's probably going to be out for the rest of the playoffs. The others, it's really going to probably come down to the others because I think you're going to get what you're going to get from SG. I think you're going to get what you're going to get from Luka. I think it's probably really gonna be what Kyrie give you versus what J-Dub gives you. I think the defense, it's not gonna matter so much. Like it's really I think I got Dallas in 6. But this is a great this like house money right now for OKC. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. They did what they're supposed to do. Did as much as people thought they were gonna do or more. So I think they can hang their hat on that, go into the offseason, figure out what they need to do, because right now this has to be Dallas's chance. Like this is the perfect chance to go. Like, and I think Luka's not gonna mess that up. Not right now.
I thought I said that, and I got laughed at by Latif and Jaden. Maybe I'm tweaking, but I said anything past this is just icing on the cake. Like if we win another series, I'm ecstatic. I think we can win, but like we had to do this year, and we keep on going. But I think we can win.
Nobody realistically believes that OKC was supposed to go to the Western Conference Finals. Just because they're a 1 seed doesn't mean that's what's supposed to happen. Like that's never been a consensus type of, because you could tell based on the team. Like nobody thought the Utah Jazz was supposed to be a Western Conference Final team because they were 1 seed. Like that's what this team is young. No, young teams don't. It doesn't happen like that. You usually go in stages. So them making the playoffs, them making it past the first round was way more than it was really supposed to do. Most people had this team as maybe a 5th seed going in. Like nobody thought this was going to be a first seed team. So again, everything is house money.
Well, we were talking about that before we even knew who the second round team was, and also I think as the season going on and as the playoffs going on, you readjust your expectations. Luka Doncic is not playing his best. He's injured clearly, so that should factor into it. The fact that you have a much better coach should factor into it. That you have the much better role players off the bench and type of stuff should factor into it. I think their bench is better.
Dallas, but it's not. I'm sorry, it's not hard.
Yeah. You can't put something you can't
not their starting lineup.
Put something up there like that one.
I know, but still,
not the case. Like they're not way better. They're not way better than Dallas. Like that's
Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been dealing with injuries, but he's still there. He might be back this series. But who else?
I think we have some. Trust me, I think Jalen Williams is good. I think Isaiah Joe is really good. Aaron Wiggins has his moments. Like I think we have some really good ones. But I don't think it's like this clearing. Like I think it's close. Like I don't think it's crazy.
I don't think nobody thinks that, though. I don't think nobody thinks that.
Still, Derek Lively's off the bench. Dante Exum and Josh Green both have games. They have games.
Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe are better than both of them. Jalen Williams
is Derek Lively.
Jalen Williams is a great backup center.
Huh?
Jalen Williams is a great backup center. He provides.
I think Derek Lively exposes our weaknesses more.
What you mean?
He's got height. He can rebound. He's a good defensive center. Like Jalen Williams, 6'9". Derek Lively is 7'1", 7'2".
7'1".
Like matchup wise, not like we are a small team. Like they have they have height off the bench. They have shooting off the bench. They have experience off the bench, especially if Tim Hardaway Jr. is back.
My whole point was when I was just responding to what you said. Throughout the season, you readjust your expectations. So who cares about if they came into the season and they were once supposed to make the playoffs or there should be a 5 seed? None of that matters here. Now you're here. You're number 1 seed in the conference. You got to break by not facing the Lakers. You got to break by not having to face Zion, who was going to probably do well in that series. I think the series is very close, and I don't think you should be ashamed if you lose or nothing like that. But you should be going to the series trying to win it. You have the better coach by far. I think Mark Daigneault is a much better player. Obviously, Luka is going to be Luka, but again, he has not played to his standard, and he's banged up. Like that's so clear. Like that his knee is bothering him. So I think you should be trying to win this series. I think you should be somewhat you're not gonna be like, after the season, this was a disappointing of a season, but you should be trying. You have an opportunity right now to go to the Western Conference Finals, and that's what your goal should be on. And that's what I was trying to say to you when we were.
But if they don't make it, they're not going to get killed. You know why they're not going to get killed? Because
I never said it was.
Exactly, because they're playing with house money. Because nobody expected this team to be where they at. So again, that's what house money means. Win. Not that just going into this and they're not going to play to win. Obviously, they're going to play to win.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say that we're not going to.
If they don't win, it's not going to be looked at as a failure. It's going to be like they did more than we thought. That's what playing with house money is. Nobody's saying they're going into the series not trying to win.
I never thought they were going to be a first round exit. So
That's the start of the year.
I didn't. That had nothing to do with my monologue.
At the start of the year, yes. At the start of the year, I've been saying they were going to go past the first round this entire year. And I've been saying they could make the West Conference Finals
before the playoffs started. Before the season started.
No, and I said the beginning of the year, not before the season started. Once we got into the no, I'm not talking about that. Obviously, again, you readjust your expectations as the season goes on. I'm not talking about at the start of the year.
So what was your expectation?
You don't judge. You don't judge them.
As the season went on, what was your expectations? That they were going to get to the Western Conference Finals?
I thought they could get to the Western Conference Finals. Yes.
When did you say that?
All right, hold on.
Max, hold on. No, wait. Max, I hate to break it to you, but like me and Q and people like in the Discord, we talk about basketball like on a daily basis, like all the time. So when I've made bets for this team to make it past the first round, and I made bets on Shea performances in the playoffs.
It's new to me. I know you like Chet, but like you don't voice this
because we don't talk about we don't talk about basketball that much in the group chat. Ironically, we don't. I know what Q trying to say. Like I've been this entire season. I've had faith in this team. I did not have them losing in the first round. I've said they could make it to the Western Conference Finals. That was my goal for them. For them to be. I said if they get Lauri Markkanen, they could be championship contenders. That's what my thought process for them. Whether that's unrealistic or not. I didn't, but I'm saying that's been my expectation for the team.
I got a question. The whole time. If you expect something to happen for somebody, for something, like if you expect something and it doesn't happen, are you disappointed?
No, I don't think they're gonna be this. I don't think like
I'm not talking about them. I'm just giving you a scenario. We expect the Nuggets to win the championship. If they don't win the championship, are we disappointed?
This year, no.
I'm not trying to tell we are.
No, I don't think we are because they won it last year.
I get what you're saying. Yes, I get what you're saying. If you expect something to happen and it doesn't, you're disappointed. Yes.
We expect Boston to win the tip. We expect Boston.
Yes.
We expect Boston to win the tip. If they don't do it, it's a disappointment.
Yes.
What do you expect for OKC? You expect them to make the Western Conference Finals? You adjusted your expectation. You expect them to make the Western Conference Finals?
I expect them to win the series. Yes, that's my pick.
If they don't win the series, are you going to be disappointed?
In the entire season, no. But
why? You know why? Because they're playing with house money. You did not expect them in totality to be here, bro. That's what that means. Just because you adjusted overall, you still leave that sliver of doubt because you know in the back of your head, this is more than what everybody pegged them to do, bro. Again, they playing with house money. If they win, great. If they lose, it doesn't really matter. It's not like, damn, they were supposed to win. How could they do this? No. That's not going to happen because nobody expected that, like, at all. Sure. Well, again, I bring up Utah Jazz. Same way you could have adjusted your expectations. This is the first seed team. First seed teams, like, it's not all equal. Like, we don't just, they're going to roll because that just doesn't happen, especially based on the team and, the situations. So OKC they've been playing with house money for the past 2 years. Next year is when you're gonna really supposed to have realistic expectations for them because they got here now. You know what I'm saying? So whatever happens through this series is cool. This is really a Dallas story. It's not an OKC story.
No, listen. When me and Max had that conversation, I think it was on like a few episodes ago. We didn't know who was going. You know what I'm saying, to the next round. It was still the Mavericks and the Clippers series going on. So again, he was like, I'm just happy. I forgot what he said, but it was
because my expectations are not to be here. My expectation at the start of the year was to be a top 5-6 seed, but I thought experience would end up hurting us.
Okay, that's cool, and I just don't think that you should view it that way from when you start the season. Now, especially if they would have got the Clippers. Like they got the Clippers.
I still think we're gonna win. I'm not saying just lay down and.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
We're gonna win the series.
We're talking about if they would have got to the Clippers, right? And you got Kawhi Leonard who dealing with injury, and they lose. You think that's a disappointment at that point? You think it's disappointment they lose to the Clippers?
No.
I'm asking you.
All right, still not.
I don't know. Without Kawhi, that would have been kind of crazy. Without Kawhi.
I guess if it's without Kawhi, without Harden, without PG, but if we get beat by PG and Harden, like having good series, you can I guess you could.
Yeah,
chalk up to
nobody's gonna bash them for losing to James Harden and Paul George and Ty Lue. Like nobody, I don't think
I don't think
nobody
it
in the
was
world like
not bashing, but it's like
no,
y'all should
I
have
don't
won
think
that.
I don't think they're gonna get no like pushback for losing to James Harden and Paul George and Ty Lue and that team. I don't think that's gonna happen. Again, I don't think they're gonna make it to Western Conference Finals. I thought
Well,
Dallas was gonna go no matter what. Like in all my predictions, I had Dallas. You know what I'm saying? I expected them to face OKC, so I expected them to lose to OKC.
I wonder who I got. It might be. I don't know. I gotta look at my
Lose to
bracket.
Dallas. Excuse me.
you gotta make your prediction.
But from what I've seen with OKC fans, I think some of them. I mean, a lot of them expect them to win the series. A lot of them expect them to be in the Western Conference Finals. I think because a lot of them feel like all the doubt that was getting put on the entire season. Like you see Shannon Sharp say like, "Oh, this is the one of the weakest one series," and how people been talking about their size and experience. They've been pushing back on that so much, and they've been feeling like, yeah, this team is much better than what they have given credit for it over the entire season. That their expectations have shifted immensely over their season. So,
but that's what makes it a house. That's what makes it house money because you hear all that other all that other things going on, all the weakest one seed and whatnot or whatever. So the more you do, the more it's like, all right, like if you get past, like people are gonna obviously give you your flowers, but if they lose in the second round after making the first, it's like, you did way better, but they're not gonna bash you for losing because they didn't expect you to be here anyway.
Some people, I think, yeah, I mean, some people gonna do that anyways. But some people just haters. They're gonna do that anyways. But my prediction for the series, I got OKC in 7. I think they're a much better coach team. I think they're a much better team as far as like both sides of the ball. Like, obviously, they've been an elite defense over the course of the regular season. They were great against the Pelicans despite not having Zion. Lou Dort did an amazing job with Brandon Ingram. I don't know, like matchup wise, like where they're going to go, who they're going to throw on Luka, because obviously Luka is much taller and he's stronger than Lou Dort. He's 6'7", about 230. So I think it's going to be a tough matchup. But like they had Terrence Mann on them, and Terrence Mann is bigger than Lou Dort. But I think Lou Dort with his lower body strength and what he's able to move through screens, Luka likes to do a lot of pick and roll. So if they don't switch that, like they don't put Chet out in space against Luka, let him cook and do that step back inside stuff. If they just have Lou Dort don't switch, continue to fight through screens like he did in the Pelicans series and how he's done throughout his entire career and throughout the entire season, they can have some success. Now Luka's going to get his, but if you can continue to make him work for every play, especially on defense, if they can, bro. OKC is one of the best teams in the NBA at attacking matchups, at attacking mismatches, at driving to the basket. So they're gonna make Kyrie work. They're gonna make Luka work on the defense, and I just don't trust the others for the Mavericks. Like this is not me thinking like Luka is not top 3 in the world, because Luka's one of my favorite players in the league. I think he's great, but I think Mark Daigneault is gonna outcoach Jason Kidd. I think they have the personnel to attack Luka and Kyrie on offense, and they have the wing defenders to not stop Luka but slow Kyrie and manage them, if you want to say, because Jalen Williams is a great defender. Lou Dort is an elite defender. Shea is definitely not no slouch at all. So they have the wing. They have the wing defense. They have the offensive style to attack Luka and Kyrie and make those players guard. They have the sets. They have the coaching. I don't see why they can't win this series. And I think they will win in 7 games.
You don't think the Clippers had those same things?
No, they don't. They don't have the ability to generate rim pressure like the Thunder do.
I don't think that's true.
No, they definitely don't.
I think it's true. The Thunder are like what? Are they I think they have like the highest rim pressure in the league. Is that fair?
They get to the rim. They get to the rim for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think.
I don't think it's the Clippers like not being able to. I just don't think they do it. You know what I'm saying? I just think that's
the Thunder are patented at it. You know what I mean? Like that's what they go for.
Yeah, sure.
They go out and transition fast, and they like crash the rim. I think that's your.
It's like just because a person does something more doesn't mean they're better. I'm not saying that OKC's not better at them attacking the rim. I just think they do it more.
I just don't think.
I'm not using that to argue. I'm just asking a question.
I think at this point in their career, I think Harden they were literally forcing him to the rim He was getting that teardrop to go. I think like Paul George, like their rim pressure and James Harden as they got older, that's natural though. But they literally don't get to the rim anymore. Like, and Russell Westbrook, that's why Russell Westbrook was so valuable, because he was able to actually put pressure on the rim. But you don't want the ball in his hands. And Kawhi also does not pressure the rim a lot. So that's my thing. It's an entirely different matchup. Now, right now, I think the Clippers are the Clippers were like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They were 11th out of 16th in drives per game.
In the playoffs?
And these playoffs so far, yes. And Oklahoma City right now is 5th.
Oh, they were 1 or 2.
Huh? No.
I thought
Cleveland. No, the Magic and Cleveland. That's literally all they do. So that's why the Cavs and Magic right now are number 2 and number 3. No, Pacers number 3, Cleveland number 2, Orlando Magic number 4, New York Knicks, because Jalen Brunson have been literally doing that the entire series. But yeah, I just think they present an entirely different problem for them. Like I'm being so serious right now when I think schematically.
Yeah, he's not being serious when he says I'm being so serious. I promise you he's not.
No,
go ahead.
I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I'm being serious when I think like
every time you say something like this, bro, you go super outlandish, bro. You go super outlandish.
This not gonna be outlandish. I think that Shea and Jalen Williams, and I think Shea and Jalen Williams gonna be harder to guard than James Harden and Paul George. Is that crazy?
Oh, right, yeah. Never mind.
That's not crazy. That's not crazy because you got Derrick Jones Jr. and like, bro, Paul George really wasn't creating no separation in the series like at all. Like he was just standing around the perimeter making tough shots the entire series. That's what he was doing.
Listen, they're 10 years younger than these bros, like these folks, bro. That's at that point, that's just what it is. They're 10 years younger than these people. Like, it's not their fault. Like, J-Dub is always trying to get downhill. Like, he's trying to get downhill aggressive. Like, he's doing it aggressively. Like, he want to punch you in the face when he get down there. Shea getting downhill every single time, no matter what. He's just not doing it aggressive. He's doing it like he is sneaky. Like he be sneaky doing it. Like he's going to do it on a sneak. Like he don't want you to bother him, and that's just how he operates. Like they're gonna get downhill. They're gonna get to their spots. Like no matter what. Like I don't think nobody can stop them getting to where they want to get to. It's just a matter of them making or missing a shot.
I don't know. Luka and Kyrie have been incredibly hard to stop.
And that's my only reason why I'm picking Dallas. And I'm a doctored in, grandfathered in OKC fan. Like that's my team. I want them to win. I'm gonna when things like this happen, especially in the playoff setting, whether it's right or wrong, I tend to lean on that all-time type talent, and that's Luka right now. And it's not like Kyrie's not no slouch. We talked about Kyrie a couple episodes ago. He can go off and do anything he wants in terms of scoring the basketball, and we've seen him do that basically the whole series.
Who'd you get grandfathered in by for a Thunder fan?
I've been watching this team since 2009. Been watching it super. For me, Kevin Durant's my favorite player of all time. Westbrook is my favorite point guard of all time. Paul George was also on his team at a point. Like I've been watching him since I was a kid.
All right. So I got just for the record, I have the Thunder in 7. Hey, listen, Luka's my guy. Huh?
You said Thunder in 7.
Yeah, I do. I have the Thunder in 7, and again, like I said, because Max, this is the truth. You can speak to this. We talk basketball way more in Discord than we do in the group chat, and so I've been on the Thunder. I've been on the Thunder all year, like literally all year.
And you can say with whatever team, you can say with whatever other team, but the Thunder being my team, like, and then when people just come out of the gutters and say like, "Oh, I've been saying this," that's where I'm just like, I don't know about that. Like you've like Chet, that's just like it's just weird to me.
I know.
You claim a lot of teams at random times, and like the Thunder, that's my team. So like that's where it's just like I want to make sure we're on the same page.
He's not claiming the Thunder as one of his teams. He's just
I had an agenda.
I'm just trying to make sure like we're on the same page and like whatever. This is not like a new thing.
No. Nobody's claiming the Thunder, bro. Calm down. I'm saying that I had an agenda. Like I've been pushing this team the entire year, specifically Shea and Chet. But
you better hope one of your
I had-
teams stays in the playoffs.
I had a $50 bet on them, and I had a $50 bet on them. And
You're
Cleveland is
shooting
winning.
off the now.
Who?
The Lakers are bounced, the Pistons are bounced, and the Cavs
Bro,
could be bounced.
they were never nowhere close. What are you talking about? They were bounced.
Not my fault. Not my fault.
Anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about one of my other teams, man. Donovan Mitchell dropped 50 points in a loss. Man, one of the most disgusting performances. He had all the points in the fourth quarter.
Right after I Would You Rather. All I could think of was right after I Would You Rather. Right after
man, I was
Donovan Mitchell. And that was the whole thing was I was saying his playoff performance, he hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't eclipsed those moments like he did a couple years ago. And of course his next performance is 50 points.
Yeah.
This is just a nasty series. It's nasty in terms of both rosters, they're the same rosters, but they're not the same rosters. They have the same issues. They have again, like I said, I picked Cleveland because I relied on the better offensive talent in Donovan Mitchell, to do something like this and win out a game. But the defenses are too good. The inconsistencies from Darius Garland, he wasn't great in the beginning. Evan Mobley gave you a stinker. Jared Allen is also, injured. He's not playing. This was always going to be. It was probably destined to be a back and forth series.
Latif, I thought this was going to be a good series, and I thought you laughed at me for that. I said that this could be a good close series, and you said no. They both have each other's weaknesses. It's going to be over in 5. Do you remember this before the pod? Do you remember this before the pod?
I picked the Cavs in 6. I did not think. I mean, I thought it was going to be. I thought the Cavs would handily win because again they have better offense. But I didn't think it was going to be a 5. No, I never said that.
You think this is a coming of age for Paolo? You think Paolo takes another step next year?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think especially game 6, the 3-pointer and then the and one that followed it, that kind of stuff kind of felt I don't know, coming into his own. Next year he might be that guy on the rise. I don't think he was that level, but more. I'm saying more than that.
The roster just has clear issues, and the issue is the Cavs aren't always able to exploit those clear issues because they be dealing with their own demons, like a bad 2 games from Darius Garland and Evan Mobley 3-point game. Jared Allen not being on the court. If Jared Allen plays yesterday, I think they win. You know what I'm saying? But they just got to deal with that. It was still an 8-point game. I just think they're going back home to Cleveland. They can't lose on their home floor. So it's I still expect Cleveland, handily win, not handily win the series, but handily win that game. They have no choice to, or they still have, win or lose, they still have questions to ask because they're going to go and basically, get cooked, by the Celtics next round. Well, whichever one of these teams, but they have questions to answer no matter what because they pretty much know they're losing next round. So they have to show something here, but they're going to have to make some type of move. Whatever it is, they both got to hit the drawing board. That's basically what this series is telling you, is letting you know, we got to make some moves. Or it's telling them, themselves, each team is telling their general manager based off play, yeah, I got to fix this.
Despite what happens in Game 7, as a Cavs fan, I'm not mad if Donovan Mitchell requested trades this offseason. He deserves it. He deserves much better than what this team is giving him. I'm not going to lie. And they're clearly going to lose to the Celtics, even if they beat the Mavericks. He needs to request out, and I'm sorry. It's a fact. 50 points, and y'all lose? He had, 50 points, and the Cavs had 46. He had more points than the entire team. It was ridiculous. So I just can't blame him. How fans get mad, he requested a trade? Bro, he deserves to go try to compete for a championship. Donovan Mitchell is a fringe superstar, and this team is holding him back. This team is not going to be a contender with Donovan Mitchell on the team. Because I don't know if this Evan Mobley, Jared Allen front court experiment works because offensively it's terrible. It just doesn't work. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell have not meshed well so far. They had their moments. In the first half of this game, they were going crazy. They were literally the only 2 players holding the team up. But in totality, they've been injured this year. They haven't meshed well, and I think their games don't complement each other too much because both of them need the ball in their hands. Not saying that they're terrible offensively. Go ahead.
What situation you think is there's other ones better than this, obviously, but
let me finish my mono. It's an obvious one.
Just the TikTok right here. You make sure he has to get this right. You know exactly when you want to make.
Let me finish.
Should I should I pose the question for the TikTok? Should I pose the question for the TikTok so you can answer it?
What question? Nah, bro, chill. Anyways,
that'd be perfect. I can set it up for you. I like literally give you like the soft pitch. You just gotta hit a home run.
What situation? No, it's obviously Miami. I mean, Miami gives them their contender. Like they'll be able to keep Jimmy Butler and get Donovan Mitchell. They're probably going to be contender because the rest of their roster is like they've been able to makeshift rosters in Pat Riley's era, so they don't need any crazy names. But yeah, I don't think this roster is going to be good enough to actually compete for anything. The bench is inconsistent. We got a lot of players that either can't play defense or can't shoot. Caris LeVert has been terrible. We're like any team playing Marcus Morris and Tristan Thompson in 2024 is like you're not trying to actually win anything. It's ridiculous. The roster has a lot of flaws. Not a lot of young talent. Well, that's a lie. We have young talent in Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, but like we're still looking for that young wing. Like we need that young wing. We've been looking for that fabric and haven't been able to get it. So.
I'm lost because I was trying to figure out like how this team could like operate after this year. Like what moves can make to like makeshift this team. Like I was thinking Brandon Ingram get to the Cavs, but then you would be giving up assets, but you will also have to pay him or like give him an extension.
Yeah, facts.
That ball sending Jared Allen to he probably end up on the Pelicans. That's kind of what they need. They want somebody that can space, but at least he could, defend and rebound and whatnot. Donovan Mitchell probably still have to get up out of there and go to Miami, but they'll get something back. So like a core of Evan Mobley, Brandon Ingram, Darius Garland, and whatever you get back from Miami, that'd be a good, soft little reset back in, for the future. But I don't know. I'm not no GM, but I just feel like that's the best possible option. Do you go out there and pay Paul George, give him a little light contract? They don't really have no money. I don't think they got money to even pay Paul George.
I don't think that's a possibility. I don't think that's they gotta pay Evan Mobley.
Yeah, Paul George, he should have been a Cav about 8 years ago, but that's Indiana being corny. They didn't steal him. Indiana they didn't want to give Paul George to LeBron.
In all fairness, though, the trade, because what was the trade for? Trade wasn't for Kyrie, it was for K Love, right?
It was like Kevin Love, I think like two other non-important people.
So I think they made the better trade. They made the better trade. Like they got Sabonis, who they flipped for Tyrese, and you get Oladipo. You had 2 All-Star years from Oladipo or something. Better trade, in my opinion.
Sure. And Paul George had the best season of his career 2 years later. So
I still think it's a win. I still think it's a win-win though for both teams. Like I think it's like the one win-win.
It's a win-win and a L. It's a win-win for Indiana.
And the Clippers lost.
A win for OKC, but it was not a win for Paul George. If Paul George would have ended up next to LeBron James,
I agree. Yeah, no, I get it.
Man, what?
I don't know where we're going in the offseason either, because like we could try to do like I was thinking like this is a terrible idea. Honestly, it is like DG for Brandon Ingram because the Pelicans need a point guard, but that just don't make sense to me.
But if that's the case, then you expect Donovan Mitchell to stay there. Like if you want him to trade, if Donovan Mitchell has to be the player to move, I think like I'd still try to get BI, but like without. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get BI without, giving them Donovan Mitchell. Like Miami have to give something to the Pelicans just so Donovan Mitchell could get to Miami some way, somehow. Like I know the Pelicans will probably get Jared Allen, BI, be a Cav, Donovan Mitchell be Miami, but what's the others? Like I don't think Cleveland needs anything back. Probably most of those assets probably go to like Miami would give probably the Pelicans 2 first-round picks, Cleveland to get 1. Somebody gets Jaime or Jokic or something like that. Maybe Hero ends up. I think Hero probably could end up in.
He has to be. I feel like he has to be part of the deal.
He probably could end up in the on the Pelicans.
They got CJ, bro. They got CJ. They paid him $30 million.
I think Tyler Hero's going to Cleveland. I think Tyler Hero's
put him next to DG. I wouldn't be mad about that.
I think he Cleveland.
You feel me? You got BI, but it's a matter of like who's gonna have the ball in their hands a lot. BI likes do his thing, but like they also need him. That's a position of need for them. So I think like that's the best. Just off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's gonna be a interesting offseason for the Cavs. Don't know what we're gonna do because Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to be here, and I don't blame him. So Yeah, but the Knicks won in 6 games against the Sixers the other night. What's next for the Sixers? I honestly think they're in a good place, to be honest. Like all things considered.
Everything is so overblown with the Sixers because people start lying. Like people start lying when it comes to the Sixers, especially this year. Like I seen a clip of Colin Cowherd talking about this was supposed to be a general sweep if the travel got called for Tyrese Maxey, and like they were supposed to win that game, but in that same breath, they were supposed to call them fouls on Tyrese Maxey, like for Tyrese Maxey in game 2. So that all set. So you feel me? Those wins are still wins. This is a close game. This was a close series with Joel Embiid clearly at no higher than 70%. And he still had an amazing series. And he was at 70%. But again, I'm gonna say this every time I talk about the Sixers. They were not supposed to be here. Like at all. They were just not supposed to be in a position. They were not supposed to be a 7th seed. At worst, they were probably going to be a 4th seed at worst, but they were trending and tracking towards being a 2 seed, obviously. So this wouldn't even be a conversation. They loot their $40 million bad contract who did nothing for them is off the books. You feel me? You could use that money, and like I said, I've been preaching, go get Paul George. We could call Paul George a playoff dropper, whatever you know, but next to Embiid and Maxey it's a lot less pressure in a weaker conference. Paul George and his roster, they win this series probably in 6 just because Jalen Brunson is going crazy and the Knicks fight hard, but it probably would have been an easy 6, not a grueling, hard-fought 6, especially if Joel Embiid was 80%, 85%. He usually goes into the playoffs at 85, 90% anyway. And look what he did. Tyrese Maxey clearly elevated, so you don't have no issues with your second and third. They have a pretty, good roster everywhere else. They find a way to keep Kelly Oubre. Give a soft bag to Buddy Hield. Their core's pretty set. They should be fine going to next season. With Joel healthy, they're going to be straight. They're still going to be a top 4 team in the East. Most likely, if everything shakes out right, even if he misses about 15 games per usual, not the 40 games that he missed this year, they're going to be a top seed, and they're never going to be in this position again.
I think there is some work to do around the edges as far as a roster. B-ball Paul had a bad series. That can't really happen. You got to make sure that Buddy Hield's actually playing like Buddy basketball and like shooting well. They have a solid roster. Like I think they have some good role players on the team though. Cam Payne had his moments for the Pat Bev trade. Nick Nurse I still thought was a good X's and O's coach. I thought he was solid. I think that they're, as it stands, especially with Boston, I think they're a piece away. Whether that is a far out chance they get LeBron, right? Whatever. If people still think that that's a possibility. I saw something where they're like monitoring Jimmy Butler's situation. They can't really trade. I don't think they can really trade for anybody. You need to rely on signing somebody just because unless someone is really trying to get a sign and trade and get whatever they can for a guy, they don't have the assets to get many people. You can't go get Donovan Mitchell because you don't have assets to go do that. I guess maybe with the stuff you got from the Clippers, but still, I think that there is some minor work to be done. You obviously have to re-sign Tyrese. You have JoJo, but I think that they could definitely run it back next year. This is different than the Clippers, in my opinion, where they've had a couple years of back-to-back failures. You still have a top 5, maybe top 7 for some people player in Joel Embiid. You have a very
they got assets. They got all their picks.
I forgot they also traded for the James Harden stuff. 2 first-round picks and a pick swap, which that's
no, they got their own picks.
Yeah, but still,
they got all their picks.
We talked about this. At least Latif talked about this. Like positioning a pick sometimes matters, right? So if you're going to be competing in the East for a long time, is that going to be as valuable? Having those Clippers picks,
but they can be bad though. They can be bad though. They have the actual.
I think those Clippers picks are more valuable though because the Clippers are more questionable.
4 first-round picks is still 4 first-round picks.
Oh, no, that's fair. That's fine. It's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. The Sixers aren't in a bad situation at all, to be honest.
I'm not saying they were.
They about to have a max salary cap spot.
Yeah,
4
first-round picks. I guess whatever about Miami, put Donovan Mitchell on this team.
I just don't. I wouldn't do. I would never put 2 ball dominant guards together on a team.
But
especially
I think
if one hit. Like I just won't do that.
Youth wise, isn't D-Mitch? No, D-Mitch from New York.
D-Mitch is
youth wise, I think you can trade. You can trade for Donovan Mitchell and be confident enough that Donovan Mitchell and Tyrese Maxey will at least be able to carry your team to be competitive until those picks are up, right? Like I think like if you get the aging PG, when is he going to fall off, right? If they somehow get Jimmy, when's Jimmy gonna fall off? Like I think there's a little bit of question mark there. D Mitch is still gonna be good for a couple more years. Like he still has
It's
a
a
lot of prime.
positional thing. It's a positional
I
thing.
get it. Like a defensive wing is very valuable in the league, and I think especially to compete against Boston and the Jason Tatum's of the league. But like, I don't know. I think like realistically, PG is the most realistic. I'm just saying it'd be cool to get Donovan Mitchell too.
I think Philly is in a relatively good spot, all things considered, especially with the stuff with Ben Simmons, how the stuff with James Harden went. They're in a relatively good spot. I mean, they have their picks. They have a lot of money. Like you said, 2 max slots basically coming out available this year. One of those is going to go with Tyrese Maxey. The other one to be determined. But the real thing is Joel Embiid's health. The real question is, do you think Joel Embiid will be the number one player on the championship team because not of his ability, but because of his health? That's the real question mark for the Sixers. And so it's like, how long do you let this Joel Embiid thing ride out? I know we had talks of I think it was that last offseason? When James Harden requested the trade, is when we were talking about like trade Joel Embiid and try to recoup some assets. But I think that's probably still on the table because again, he keeps getting injured year after year. But outside of that, they're in a good spot. They have money, they have picks. At this point, I think they need to prioritize Joel Embiid's health as much as possible, and then they need to try to build actually a better roster because this roster is not great. We just saw that in the playoffs. Nicholas Batum was great. He stepped up. Kyle Lowry brought veteran leadership. And
Kelly Oubre was great. Well, not great in terms of him.
Yeah, in terms of him. Yeah, those are like Batum. That's a good backup wing to have. Kyle Lowry, that's probably a good backup guard to have. Kelly Oubre is either backup wing or starting wing. I don't think he could be a starting. I don't think he should be a starting small forward though. I think you need someone better than that.
If you place that $40 million, not from you put some money. Like say you get Paul George, you said you have all that. You have a solid 7. Like you have a solid 7-man rotation. You'd be running out. Let's see, Tyrese, whoever at the 2, Paul George, Kelly, Joel, and then you have
just need
Cal, Nick Batum. That's 8 right there. For me, that's 8. Yeah. That's a solid roster. You playoff teams only go 8, maybe 9 deep. Like nobody really trusts 9 players to go into the playoffs with you. So if I got a good 8, I'm cool.
You just need your 40. You need $40 million to not give you more than 0 points. That's what you literally need. Like you cannot be paying $40 million to someone that's going to give you 0 points in the playoffs. That's the real thing. Like because what he's making and then what he's actually producing on the court is nowhere near close to each other. So that's what I mean about a roster issue. And so they can get someone that actually is going to play up to their contract value. Then that makes the team a lot better in that terms of things. So I think they're not in a bad place either. They just got to figure out like if he's going to be able to stay healthy. That's the real thing. This team would have been in the ECF if Embiid was healthy this year. I firmly believe that. So
keeping him healthy. Wait, go.
What you gonna say? Part of keeping him healthy was building a better roster.
Exactly. So that way he doesn't have to go so hard. Like I don't think like a common. I guess people thought like he was going so hard because he was trying to win MVP this year. I don't think he was going hard to try to win an MVP. I think he was going hard because he was the best player on the team and it was a steep drop off after Maxey. You know what I'm saying? So he had to do all that to carry. If he doesn't have to carry, maybe he doesn't win MVP. Maybe he doesn't win. Maybe he doesn't score 34 points per game like he was on pace to damn near do. Maybe he scores back in his regular 28, 27, but they're a better team. He's a healthier player, and, they go farther in the playoffs just because he's more healthy. He plays more defense and whatnot. Like, if he plays 70 games at relatively good level, just his regular standard, he's still going to be all-star, still going to be all-NBA. There's still going to be a top 4 seed. Like, he doesn't need to win MVP. He got it already. We already know he's one of the best players, in the NBA. He's probably going to go down as one of the top 75 players just because he's going to, put all the stats together. Everything he needs is playoff things, and you got to, go far in the playoffs. You just need a better roster right now. And it's not like how much help does Embiid really need? It's just clearly his roster compared to a lot of these top other players' rosters is just not, comparable at all.
At this point, yeah. But in the past, he's had some great rosters.
I think he's had a great roster one time. And I think that one time he had that great roster, he lost on a shot. I don't really think that's like.
I think the roster was pretty. I ain't gonna lie. I think the roster last year was really, really good. Maxey, Harden.
Oh, with Harden.
Yeah.
I think that was based off like
DeAnthony
Well,
Melton,
obviously it
they
was
had a really
just
good team.
yeah.
I
Obviously
think that
Harden.
18. I think that 18-19 team is better though with Jimmy,
Yeah, I think
I
that
mean,
was like
yeah.
the
Tyus,
truly
with
great,
Ben,
great roster.
JJ. Like, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right, let's get into the Knicks and Pacers prediction. I think it's gonna be pretty chalk. I'm not gonna lie. I got the Knicks winning in 5 games. I think they are a much better team than the Bucks, especially without Giannis and Damian Lillard.
What? We're talking about the Pacers.
No, I know. I said have the Knicks in 5. I think that they are a better team than the Bucks.
They don't play the
Without
Bucks.
Giannis and the Pacers played the Bucks.
That's what he's saying.
I thought you said the Knicks. I thought you said the Knicks are a better
No,
team
he's
than
saying,
the
he's
Bucks.
saying
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm very confused.
he's saying
I
the
thought you said
Knicks are a
they're playing
way
time.
better team
What are
than
we
the Bucks.
talking about? But yes, I get what you're saying now. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be an
confused.
easier series.
Yes. Okay. I was like, what are we talking about? Like, why are we saying they're playing each other? Yeah.
You see how you interrupted my TikToks, bro? You interrupted my TikToks. Jesus Christ.
I'm just confused. I'm trying to make sure you're not
Anyways.
saying that the Knicks are playing the Bucks. Like, I was confused.
No. I did not say that. The Knicks are a much better team than what the Pacers faced in the last round. Defensively, I think they have the personnel to keep up with the pace that the Pacers like to play at. They're going to, I believe, shut down this offense, and that's way easier said than done. But they have the personnel to guard Pascal. They had the personnel to guard Pascal Siakam. They had the personnel to guard Tyrese Halliburton. Whether it's Miles McBride, Don DiVincenzo, OG Anunoby. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like Tyrese Halliburton is not playing his best in the playoffs, and he's gonna need to, have an uptick in his scoring a lot for them to compete in this series. I don't think these teams are close at all. I think this series is going to be very, very one-sided. I think the Knicks are going to win in 5. I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton has taken the most open threes of the playoffs so far. He has like the worst percentage, like
27%. Ridiculous.
Yeah, he's not. It's not looking pretty. And Pascal has been he's been their best player. If Pascal's your best player, in the playoffs, 9 out of 10, you're not going to go that far. Jalen Brunson is comfortably outplaying Tyrese Halliburton like basically all year. Especially these last couple months, he's just been on a burner, and I don't think he's slowing down. Not right now. Small guards tend, to get worn down. I don't think this is the series for him to get worn down. I think, like I said, whoever comes out the Knicks 76ers series, I think they're clearly going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. If Embiid was playing this Pacers team, they probably still win in 5. Also, you can't do nothing with Embiid. They can't do nothing with Jalen Brunson. They can't. They team can't guard as a whole. You can throw OG on whoever you want, and they're basically out the game. If you want to throw on Pascal, cool. That's it. You could throw Josh Hart on Tyrese, and he's done. Or Dante, that's a good matchup for him. Miles McBride, when he comes in, he's going to play gritty, and that's just how they're going to get their buckets. All the free flow movement Indiana does, running around space and whatnot, is just not going to do anything for this Knicks team because everything they get is tough. Like, they're going to follow you around. They're going to bump you. They're going to push you around. They're going to get you tired. They're going to lean on you. The Tom Thibodeau, him not being as great of a coach as people try to make it seem, clearly that's not a thing. He's shown, especially with this team depleted, he's doing whatever you want, and they don't even have a true second offensive, great offensive talent on the team, and they're still trucking along. The defense is carrying them. Eventually, they're gonna cool down because it can only get you so far when you have one, great offensive player on the team. But for this series, you don't need one at all. I'd take 6 teams against Indiana in the playoffs that played this year. I just didn't take them. I just didn't take the Bucks over them strictly for health reasons. If Giannis missed the first 2 games, they're gonna, Indiana wins this game anyway. But that's the only team I thought they were going to be able to beat in this series, and that's just based off injury. I don't think Indiana matches up well with any team that played in the playoffs.
I also think they just don't have the requisite defenders to guard Jalen Brunson at all. Not even close. Their perimeter defense is terrible. Aaron Nesmith is a good defender, and he has done as good of a job on Jalen Brunson in the regular season as you're going to see. But in those games, I think Jalen Brunson is averaging 30 points. So it's he's going to cook him. I think Aaron Nesmith is going to compete. He's going to give it his all, but he's just not good enough as a defender to guard Jalen Brunson. They don't rebound well either. Yeah. And the Knicks are great at that. They are one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA. And I think they're gonna hunt Tyrese Halliburton on these switches. Jalen Brunson is gonna try to get Tyrese Halliburton on him because Tyrese Halliburton is a terrible defender. Now that's on Aaron Nesmith to fight through screens and try to stay on him, but it's just not a good matchup. It's a terrible matchup for them, I think, personally.
I think the only way that Indiana really competes here is if Tyrese can go toe to toe with Jalen Brunson. And as it stands right now, Jalen Brunson is the best guard, the best point guard in the East, and it's not a really easy task to go toe to toe with him. Jalen Brunson's the best guard in the East. Shea, Luka, Ja, Steph are all out west. So you're looking at Dame.
I'm just looking. I'm just trying to make sure. Like,
yeah, because I heard that comment a couple days ago, and I was like, yeah, he might be. It's Dame. Dame's the only person that you could really compare, I guess. And I'll take
Bro,
right
I think oh my god, the Kendrick dropped again, bro. Oh my god. Oh my
listen
god.
Listen after. We gotta finish this.
Oh my god.
I don't know. As a whole, I think he's gonna go he has to go toe to toe with Jalen Brunson. I don't think it's as likely going to happen. I think it's more likely that the perimeter defense of New York shuts him up. I want to say New York is 6 what?
He dropped. Not like us. Yo, can we hurry up?
All right, let's go. All right, lock in. We'll deal with that later. Continue, Max. Go ahead. Unless you.
No, we're good. No, I'm just saying. I think that I want to say Knicks in 6, but I'll say Knicks in 5. I just think the perimeter defense is going to be too much. This team's a team of destiny. They have 7-8 guys that are going to be. The Knicks have their 7-8 guy lineup that Q was talking about. You need that for the playoffs. They have that. They buy into Tom Thibodeau's system. They'll be good.
Are you back? We got to listen to the Kendrick diss. My bad. We had to stop the podcast. It was an emergency.
Yeah, thankfully
for the OVO camp. Yeah, thankfully for the OVO camp. That was too crazy. That was too crazy. It was like a lot of trolling. Anyways, let's get into. I got a blind ranking for y'all. I'm a blind rank I want y'all to blind rank the worst NBA contracts. Basically, I gotta re-explain that. But all right. How should I say this? Blind rank the worst. Blind rank these contracts.
Blind rank the worst contracts in NBA history. Or blind rank these horrible contracts. 1 being the worst, right? 1 being the worst contract, and 5 being like, right?
All right, got it. Blind rank these NBA contracts based on how bad they are, with 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, I guess. First name up. Chandler Parsons, 4-year, $94 million for the Grizzlies.
That's one of the worst.
That
was one of the best. Wait. Let me make sure. I'm
gonna go 4. I'm gonna go 4.
Hold on.
Wait, 5 is the worst or 1 is the worst?
Wait, this was no. He didn't sign with Memphis. This is when he signed with Dallas, right?
Either one.
No, this was Memphis. I looked it up.
Okay, so when he signed with Memphis, he went from 13 points to 6.
Yeah, this is Memphis, bro.
4 years. How much money?
$94 million.
This is pretty bad, Q.
Is 1 the worst or 5 the worst?
1 is the worst.
So put it at 2.
I was gonna say 3, so I'll put it at 2. It was pretty bad, and it's been pretty bad. Everyone knows that. But yeah, it's fine. 2 is fine.
It's some full transparency. It's some terrible contracts on here.
So put it at 3. Put it at 3.
Oh wait. Like I'm just trying to go through like what Timofey Mozgov, like Luol Deng, those could be on there. Tobias Harris. I feel like it's about Tobias Harris, but he's gonna be somewhere. 3's fine then. I was gonna say 3, so 3's fine.
That's fine. Okay. Second name is Timothy Mozgov. 4 years, $64 million for the Lakers.
I'll put that at 2. I don't think that's the worst contract.
Yeah, but there's definitely going to be one worse. It's just where the other one's going to be at. Are we more comfortable putting that? Or is it going to be another one?
4 years. If you want to put it at 4, I'll put it at 4.
I don't know. The way he's – and again, if he's baiting, that's kind of weird to bait off that. But yeah, I mean, he only played 1 year after that. It's actually pretty bad. He only played 1 year. He was on the books for a while. He was the reason they couldn't sign.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, him and Luol Deng are the reason they couldn't sign free agents. So honestly, put that 2 because that kind of hindered their progression now. You know what I'm saying?
Bro was there. He played for LA for 1 year,
One
bro.
season. I think honestly it might be two, just because like they couldn't grow after that. You cool with 2 or no? You want to go 4?
I said 2, but he said there's some bad contracts on
Yeah, I
there.
know.
Go 4.
Okay. Who? Just trying to think. Like I can't even think of some of the worst, but when they come up, I'll remember.
I
guess.
can. That's why I was like, go 4. Go 4.
All right.
Trust me.
They're going 4 now instead of 2.
That's
I
our
really
only.
want
We're
to
going
go
between 2 and 4 this whole time.
I really want to go 5 because I know about 6 bad contracts that's way worse than this one.
So y'all going 4?
Yep.
4. Yeah.
Okay. Next name up, Ben Simmons, 5 years, $177 million for the Sixers.
I think that could be. What year was that signed in?
He played 2 years in that
2020
contract before things got nasty.
I think that was like 2021. Let me see.
Am I crazy to say that it's 5 just because there was actually a good year or 2 with it? You know what I mean?
I think that's one of the worst ones ever.
That's number 2.
It started in 2021. He played 1 year on it with the Sixers, and then
Oh yeah, that's number 2.
I thought it was later. Yeah, it's fine.
That's number 2.
Okay. Next name up, Bradley Beal, 5 years, $250 million with a no trade clause.
I'm gonna put that at 5. I don't think it's compared to those, and based off those in production, it's not the worst.
Yeah, because he actually played.
Yeah, compared to those contracts on those lists, it's not the worst.
He played 1 year on it, and then they traded him.
Cool.
Yeah, but his production in this year,
he's still producing. No, he's still producing. Like those players don't produce.
Taylor Parsons averaged 6 points on Memphis for like 3 years, then to 5 points. Timofey Mozgov played 1 year, and Ben Simmons was just injured. So it's bad, but at least you're getting a player out of the contract.
Yeah, like he's still producing. Though
I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind 5.
He's probably producing worth like no more than $27 million worth. Like,
but he's producing. But
those players aren't producing $5 million worth as a player. You know what I'm saying? So like
that's fair. That's fair.
He's at least putting up at least half his worth on his contract. They're not putting up not even 10% worth on their contract. So I'm comfortable putting that at 5.
All right. Last contract, number 5, is Joakim Noah, 4 years, $72 million for the Knicks.
I'm kind of okay with that. He wasn't number 1 worthy. I think Timofey Mozgov might have been worse, but it's fine.
I think they might have just stopped paying him, bro.
I think if I would have redone this, I would have put Timothy 1 because he played 1 year with them and he was on the books until a couple years ago.
I think it was about the same thing for Joakim Noah, bro.
Yeah, but wasn't Joakim Noah at least like viable for 1 playoff run with D Rose and everybody?
No, he was never viable.
No, who was it? No, that was D Rose. D Rose said that. Everyone's just talking about the Warriors and us. Was that D Rose?
He played 46 games that 1 year. Then next year he played 7. Didn't start any of those. The year after that, played 42. Didn't start any of those. He averaged 1 point, 7 points, and then he played with the Clippers for 5 games 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Excuse me. Yeah, no, hell no.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that being at 1.
I was looking at the worst contracts in NBA history. Some of those was on there, and then I just added Bradley Beal and Ben Simmons. Currently, are some of the worst contracts.
Bradley Beal's bad, but he did play. All right. I got
he's getting paid $57 million at like the age of like 30 something. And he has no trade loss. So I mean,
do you want me to do blind rank first, or you do blind rank or trivia first? Which one?
Let's do another blind ranking.
All right. We are going to blind rank these teams that did not win championships. Is that good? Is that good for you, TikTok?
That's
yep. We're gonna blind rank these teams. Or we're going to blind rank the best teams to not win championships. Your first team is the 2021 Brooklyn Nets.
Do you want to put that at 3 and be safe?
My bias wants to put it at 2, but I'm cool with it at 3. Because there's some
teams
put
it at 3 and be safe.
Suns teams with some good teams. The Laker team that lost to the Pistons was a good team still.
I'll be honest. every team on here is past the year 2000.
Yeah,
Right,
that happened in 2000.
2000 and now. I'm just like letting you know. 2000 and now. Just giving you for like reference.
Yeah, so
Okay.
those Suns teams, Lakers teams could definitely be on there.
Great team,
So
though.
you got the 2021 Nets where?
3.
I just might write this down. Next up, we have the 2007 Suns.
Relative to era, I still don't think that was one of the better teams. I think they just had an MVP, but I don't think he was supposed to get MVP. So
I think that was 4. I think 4 is
I
fine.
think this Nets team, I think that Nets team would have cooked that team. You feel me? So we could put him at 4.
I think 4 is a good spot. I think 4 is a good spot.
4. Next up, you have the 2002 Sacramento Kings.
4. I mean 5.
5. 5. Yep, 5. That's a pretty good team too. That's the team that lost to the
Lakers Western Conference Finals, I think.
Yep.
Or semifinal, one of those two.
I don't know how you guys feel about this next team. The 2015 LA Clippers.
They're not better than the Nets, but
You got 1 and 2. You got 1 and 2.
It's 2, but they really should be like. They
Is
really
it?
should be like 4.
Who's the last team? You got 1 and 2 left. Are the Clippers going to be better than the last team that I have?
No.
I'll put so we're gonna put them 2, right? Q.
Yeah, they're gonna be. They're 2.
Let's put them 2. We really have no other choice. Well, we kind of do, but 2, fine.
You guys have any predictions of who I put as the last team?
No. Maybe 2015 Cavs.
The 2016, the 2016 Oklahoma City Thunder.
Or
2016 OKC Thunder.
Or 2016 or 2016 Warriors.
The last team is the 2012 OKC Thunder.
Fine with that damn one.
Floor.
Fine with that damn one.
Clear, bro. Clear.
All right. So you guys have at 1 the 2012 OKC Thunder, at 2 the 2015 Clippers, 3 the 2021 Nets, 4 the 2007 Suns, and 5 the 02 Kings.
It's like a good thing and a bad thing that Kevin Durant's on here twice. Like that just shows like how great I
could have just done KD teams. I could have done the 18-19 Warriors. I could have done the 16 Thunder. I could have done the 21 Nets, and I could have done the 2012 Thunder.
To me, that shows how he keeps coming up short. That's what it sounds like to me.
All right.
We're not going to say he came up short in the 2021 season. We're not going to do that. You know that. And
0 for 6 in overtime.
Bro, it's crazy, bro. That's ridiculous, and you know that is. And I'm not going to blame him to losing to the GOAT in his first time ever in the finals, where he averaged 30 on insane efficiency. You know, top 5 points per game in the finals. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get on to this trivia.
Last, we have. I need you guys to tell me I need you guys to tell me the NBA teams with the most playoff wins. We're doing a top 10, and because there's only so many teams, I will give you 3 strikes.
Lakers.
What's up?
3 strikes each?
3 strikes total. No, 3 strikes total.
Lakers.
The Lakers are 1 at 467.
Boston.
Celtics.
Boston is 2 at 411.
Miami.
Miami
no,
is.
Wait.
Whoa! You said Miami.
I stopped myself.
I don't know.
I forgot. That's still a relatively new team in terms of NBA history. That's what I stopped myself.
What do you think? Was that a formal guess?
They're still very fairly new.
He was trying to cut it off before you said something.
Yeah, I had to think myself before I went too crazy.
All right, well, I guess nothing will be said. You can think if you want. They do have. I kind of want to say 5 finals appearances, 7 finals appearances. Just saying.
I kind of want to say the Bulls, but outside of Michael Jordan, they just haven't had that much success. So I don't know.
3 strikes, man. 3 strikes. Be careful. There should be 3 more easy ones.
It's playoff series wins or just playoff wins?
Spurs.
Playoff
Spurs.
wins. The Spurs are 4 with 222. It's
The Knicks.
single games, I believe. I don't think the Lakers have won 467 series. I think it's just games.
The Knicks.
The Knicks are 6 at 197.
Yeah, they been in the playoff. Like it was a stretch. They made the playoffs 15 years straight.
I think there's one more team that's been good in multiple eras that is pretty easy.
I wonder if the Warriors are there.
It could be. They want a ring early.
You're missing
NBA teams.
3, 5, and 7 through 10.
You said San Antonio already?
All right, I'll throw one out there. The Pistons.
The Pistons are 7 with 189.
Yeah.
Pistons,
man. Pistons Nation, baby. Motor City, we here.
Let's say Motor City, we here. You are not Detroit.
What? I'm so lost.
Okay, so not the Timberwolves, probably not the Nuggets. I'm watching the game, that's why I said that. But Max just doesn't have a poker face, so maybe one of them teams are on there.
It's not Memphis. It's not
Memphis.
Those expansion teams just not going to be there.
Latif, pick your team. Which one is it then? Minnesota or Denver? Which one is it?
You're not betting me to get a guess wrong either. So
if it's any of those two teams, it would be Denver, but I don't think they're on the list.
Yeah, me either.
They've been good in multiple eras.
They've been good in 2.
You got the David Thompson. You got the David Thompson era. They won a couple series. They won a couple games there. You got Melo. You got Dikembe. They could win a couple games here and there.
I don't know. 6 has been trash for a while. They were trash for a while. But
does Supersonics OKC count like together? Like that's the same. You're gonna count both those different franchises as one?
Sure.
They're not
I'll take them.
They're not on the list.
Why wouldn't they?
You guys are not on the same page at all.
Why wouldn't they?
All right. Nuggets.
Your first X.
Damn it. He got me.
That's what language. I don't even know why you said that.
Thank you.
I knew he was lying, but it's whatever.
I'm glad my poker face. I'm glad my poker face is actually solid. I'm glad.
It's not even about the poker face. I just knew he was lying. I don't know. I said it. But go ahead.
If you count OKC and Seattle as one, I'm taking them. I'm putting them on.
No, but are you
guys got to make a choice on this.
We only got one more guess. If you get it wrong,
no, you have 2 strikes. You have 2 strikes. I didn't count the Heat one. Yeah, but he could still be on the list. It drops off a lot after 6.
What do you mean you don't count the Heat one?
I didn't count that for an X. I'll give you guys benefit of the doubt. You guys need help. I don't think you guys will get 9.
Let me think about the team. So the Hawks have been.
Is Atlanta on the list?
Hawks?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, bro.
You guys really need to be cohesive on these guesses because I'm going to start checking these off if you guys don't have a cohesive idea.
Okay, so let's rule off some teams. Not the Clippers, definitely not. The Suns have been.
No, they haven't.
How long have they been in the franchise?
They've been a franchise for a long time. They've been great. They've been good playoff team for like a 5-year stretch only, bro. They haven't been that.
Do you want to guess the Rockets?
I take the Rockets on there. Yes.
The Rockets.
That's an X.
How?
You guys are missing 3, 5, 8, 9, and 10.
How is the Rockets not on there? They had some decent eras.
Do you want a clue? Or no?
Yes. One.
Latif, shut up and start listening to Q.
I don't know what that means.
I'm smarter than you.
Q has said, I think, 3 or 4 of these teams.
That's what I'm saying. If OKC and Seattle count as one, they're on the list. Atlanta should also count on the list, in my opinion. You feel me? just based off who, like when they played and
You
who
have
played
said
for those teams.
you have said a lot of teams. You have said a lot of teams, and I think I've heard a couple of these come out of his mouth. But you have one more X, so I'd be careful because not every team you said has been good.
What you thinking?
I'm just looking at a list of teams right now. I really thought the Rockets were going to be on there.
Think about Atlanta. Atlanta has not been super bad, bro. Atlanta got bad 2018, and even then they won a playoffs. They won
before
three different playoffs.
before they went, were they good though? Well, like before they went, were they good?
Yeah,
like,
just because you wasn't that wasn't really you watching like Atlanta back then.
They were Joe Johnson and Josh Smith.
Yeah,
I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about the 90s. I'm talking about like
Dominique Wilkins is a
I'm tripping. I'm tripping.
Steve Smith is an NBA player.
All right. Let's guess. Let's do it.
Atlanta's a guess.
Yeah.
Atlanta is 9. I didn't think you guys would get that one. I didn't think you guys would remember.
Because I forgot Dominique Wilkins.
You're not gonna get 9. That's when I thought Atlanta immediately. I'm like Atlanta, because that just makes so much sense. They went from Bob Pettit. You know
that's what I was remembering. Was like,
what about the Pacers? What about the Pacers? What about the Pacers? The Pacers have been solid, bro. Pacers have been. They had the runs with PG. They had the runs with they had a few run with Sabonis, and then they had to run Reggie Miller. They had so I mean
that in between get murky.
I don't know how you guys have not got 3, 5, and 8.
I think OKC / Seattle should be on the list, but I'm pretty sure they're on the list.
Going with that.
I'm looking at NBA teams.
They share records in the record book. Like when Shea gets up on the list, he's gonna end up passing Sean Kemp and or Gary Payton because it's the same franchise.
Is this a guess?
The Grizzlies haven't been there long enough.
No. They also haven't been good.
What do you want to do?
I'm fine with OKC / Seattle.
Okay.
That's a guess?
Yeah.
They're 10.
It's impossible. Like they made the finals twice. They've had
I tried to when you said Sonics and Thunder, I tried to play it off as nothing because I mean, yeah, like that's obvious. They've been good for years.
What's left?
3, 5, and 8.
3, 5, and 8. So we're obviously missing the obvious one. So we have the Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, Lakers,
San Antonio, Atlanta, OKC.
The Cavs might be on there.
Because you want to know? Do you want me to tell you the teams you have so far?
I'm going Cleveland Cavaliers for sure. Got to.
Guess?
Right?
Max is lagging on my screen.
Yeah,
is this the final guess? Is the Cavs a guess or no?
You want to lock in on Cleveland? If we lose, we lose.
I don't know because LeBron is LeBron. Like 10 straight years on the final. Well, no, 10 straight. I mean, not 10 straight. Well, how many was it with the Cavs?
It's 8. He went to 8 straight finals. He went to
04 to 09. He was in the playoffs, and then you're in the playoffs later on too. And you also
had Mark Price. They had Mark Price and them.
I'm cool with
Cleveland.
And that is your third strike. Cleveland.
Damn, that's crazy.
At 3, the 76ers. Why didn't you guys not guess that?
I forgot.
Allen Iverson, you had the Moses Malone and Dr. J years. Like, they have been good in every era.
Yeah,
the Warriors
Philly was only bad. Philly was only bad for like 3 years.
They've been good. The Warriors have been good. Like, the Warriors, again, have been good in every generation. They've had competitive teams. The 90s, you have the Chris Mullin, Tim Hardaway's. You have Wilt back in the day. You have Curry and everyone now.
I said that. I was like, yeah, they want to chip. Like, I'm like, they want to chip back with Wilt.
You guys should have. And 8 is the Bulls. You guys didn't go with the Bulls.
I don't believe they made won a whole lot of playoff games.
But with Jordan, it's like saying thing with LeBron. How many times did Jordan go to the playoffs? You know what I mean? And you won.
You got to remember that the series weren't all 7-game series, so sometimes they only needed to win 3 games in a series to move on, or 2.
I understand, but in the 90s, was it not 3 games? I thought every game was 4 in the 90s.
It was. They had
the 80s. It was 3. Oh yeah, no, 90s, it was like A 5-game series and
I thought the 90s it was 4 though. I thought it was 7 7-game series the whole time.
let me look.
I'm not sure, but I know
Because 16
for the
times, like
Bulls,
just in those 6 years, they got 96 wins then, and that's putting 100 away from the Thunder at 10. So, at number 1 is LA, 2 is Boston, 3 is Philly, 4 San Antonio, 5 Golden State, 6 New York, 7 the Pistons, 8 Chicago, 9 the Hawks, and 10 the Thunder / Seattle.
The series got extended to 7 games in the first round in 2003.
Oh dang, not even close.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I didn't think about the Bulls, because I knew he had a lot of easier playoff series, because he only had to win 3 games to get out of the series. He was still getting cooked in the first round. But that's not the here nor there. It's not a Jordan type conversation. Old is a bum.
All right, that's gonna do it for episode 90, if I'm not mistaken. We don't have any other topics. Thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on our social media accounts, and we're gonna get out of here. Got stuff to do and basketball to watch and music to listen to, obviously. So we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in.